All right, welcome to another episode of Smacktalk. Leave it on the court. I am your host, Cerebral. I got my co-host, Joe, with me today. What's going on, Joe?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. AK's not here today. Unfortunately, we record these episodes super early on Sundays, mainly because of all of our schedules. Sometimes that comes back and bites us in the ass, per reason why AK's not here today. So, without further ado, I want to apologize for us not being here last week. We missed an episode. That's on us. Really don't have anything to say for why that happened. It just kind of happened that way. I apologize. But we're at episode 20 now. So celebration to us for making it 20 episodes. I don't know if I thought that we were going to make it 20 episodes before we all killed each other. What about you, Joe?
I mean, it's been a little rough, but the days that are good, they're good. I mean, some days it's just there's been a couple of episodes where I felt like we weren't all feeling it. But, yeah. I mean, it does have to do with the time that we record, but
yeah,
we'll
people are grumpy at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, a little bit.
Especially when you got to get up at 7, and it's just not fun. All right, so we missed week 1 of the NFL. There were a lot of games, a lot of excitement, a lot of bad second halves from a lot of teams, specifically the hometown team, the Chicago Bears, unfortunately. But we don't really want to spend a whole lot of time reviewing that because, one, we're trying to catch these games later on today, and two, we really want to get into some really good matchups for this week. As far
y'all
as
had the
goes.
game sold up.
Fuck it, we're going to talk about it.
I'm just saying, though, y'all had it sold up. Khalil Mack was looking like the transaction of the year in week 1.
Defensive MVP in the first half.
I don't understand the conservative play calling in the second half.
It was conservative play calling. It was the defense got worn out just from the no huddle offense from the Packers and the key guys for the Bears not being conditioned, unfortunately.
Aaron Rodgers gift wrapped the game for you.
Oh yeah,
Fuller dropped it.
Fuller did.
You can't blame it on one player. I understand that.
But if you did, if you were to, Kyle Fuller is leading the pack.
60-40. I mean, Trubisky, you can't blame it on him because when the play calling got conservative, you seen him tighten up maybe and kind of.
Yeah, that's a big moment.
That's a huge game
for any quarterback
because you're leading going into halftime. Aaron Rodgers just got hurt. You have no idea what's going on with that, and you kind of come out of the second half playing different. I mean, just
the positive note that I will take out of this is that you do have a top 5 defense, a guaranteed top 5. As long as you guys can get better conditioned as the season goes on, definitely top 5, maybe even top 3.
I mean, Roquan Smith came in sack first play.
Dude is going to be a monster, Roquan Smith, but he's not going to get shine. Oh yeah, definitely, he's not going to get shine because of Khalil Mack.
Like we were just saying off camera, you're only valuable if you play.
Exactly. The other thing is the Bears are going to be better than I initially thought. I had very, very, very low hopes for the Bears, but they'll be better. I'm still not going to say 10 wins. No. I'm not going to say 500 yet, but they'll be in a lot of games, which is good.
For the age of the team as a collective, I mean, they are younger, they're inexperienced. So if you are in games and you don't necessarily win them, it's a stepping stone.
It's a learning moment for the season.
I'm still saying what I said in the preseason. The Bears just need to work on player development and get ready for 2019. That's my opinion. That's just where I think they should kind of focus their energy.
Agreed.
And if they can do that, maybe they win 12 games next year. I mean, who knows? You have no idea. They could win 10 this year. And they could find themselves in the wild card. I mean,
some things got to go right, but yeah.
Everything's got to go right.
Yeah, a lot has to go right. So we're done with anything week 1 related. We're going to get into week 2. Before I do, I want to say a shout out to Brandon Ruiz from the Unbearables podcast. He is running our audio today. Thank you, Brandon, for being here. It's not fun being here at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to reiterate that. But we're all here. So we're going to get into – we got 5 week 2 matchups that we're going to highlight. Me and Joe are going to talk about it. Then we're going to get into some other football notes. And then we're going to talk baseball because it's close to the playoffs and we care now.
No, you care now. I care all season.
I care enough to talk now. I care. Wait. I went to my first Cubs game of the year yesterday.
Exactly my point.
Bro, I've been trying.
Sorry, I haven't been to one since the Cubs White Sox on Mother's Day, so.
Yeah. So first matchup, we got Chiefs versus Steelers. This is an interesting matchup for a bunch of reasons. One, you've got the Steelers coming off of a very, very, very disappointing tie.
To a team that hasn't won in 2 years.
Yeah, basically 2 years. You gave the Browns the best starts they've had since 2004, and you didn't lose to them.
I gotta tread lightly there though, because we play the Browns today, and I don't want to get too crazy. You know what I mean? We just lost to the Bucks, so
yeah. So we've got the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes looked like the second coming. He had great command of the offense. They basically were able to do whatever they wanted. Mm-hmm. That being said, the Steelers are going to come in with a chip on their shoulder for a bunch of reasons.
Oh, big time.
One, they have to prove that they are a top AFC team. And two, you got to get a W.
They have the same record as the Browns right now. Okay?
Right. Like,
sorry, Malcolm, if you're listening, but y'all tied the Browns, bro.
The Bengals are leading their division at 2-0 right now.
Y'all tied the Browns.
So this is another test for Patrick Mahomes. The Steelers defense, don't get me wrong, is not the steel curtain. It's not this vaunted Steeler defense, but since halfway through last season, they have played better. So it's going to be another test for Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to be another test for the Steelers as far as life without Le'Veon Bell, which is becoming more and more clear. Might be a permanent thing.
Yeah. The last three matchups the Steelers and the Chiefs have had, the Steelers have won the last three. October 2016, they beat them 43-14. 2017, they played them twice and only beat them by a few points each game. So it might be closer than we think. Kansas City's offense, like Zach was saying, is not a slouch like I thought it was going to be.
Right.
But it's also week one.
We shitted on the Kansas City Chiefs all preseason.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's still week one, though. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, you don't know what it is. Tyreek Hill did what Tyreek Hill does. I mean,
he had one catch that was just, ugh.
Kareem Hunt, though, I feel like is what we said he was going to be, but then it's week one, so it's a little too hard for us to
you can't
say that's going to be the mood for the rest of the season, but it could very well be. Patrick Mahomes did step in, still no Alex Smith, but got the W, and we're on to week two, so we'll see.
So you got winning that game, Chiefs or Steelers?
I'm going to go with the Steelers. Big Ben, I believe, is questionable, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like Big Ben's always questionable.
Yeah, every week he's getting ready to fall apart. Obviously, if you want to talk to Le'Veon Bell's situation now, or should we wait?
Let's get into the matchups. We'll come back. But I do want to say the backup Connor, he's making it really hard for Le'Veon.
He was a hot commodity in fantasy football waiver wires this week. Very hot commodity.
Oh, wait. You know what? We're going to be like super bouncing all around and everything. Let's talk fantasy in our league real quick. How'd your week go, Joe?
I got lucky. Very, very lucky. That Todd Gurley didn't have a 40 ball
game.
I think I won by 5 points.
Okay, yeah. I won my matchup. I scored the third most points in the league.
Who scored the most? D-Mob.
D-Mob, dude.
D-Mob.
D-Mob lit up the score. Yo, so this dude literally almost traded Deshaun Jackson.
What's he gonna do with Josh Gordon, huh, Dion? Where you at?
Look, so me and him was talking about it. He's like, I got Josh Gordon. I'm gonna trade Deshaun Jackson. Bro, no. Do not count on Josh Gordon for the entire season. What is wrong with you?
We all got faith in you, D-Mob. You're gonna go ahead and start doing D-Mob stuff in week one?
Yo, I do not want to see that award in this house.
The only thing
I'm not joking.
The only thing that I have to say about fantasy this week is you got bailed out with Kamara's 43 ball and Michael Thomas is 40 ball. Okay.
Who that?
Yeah. Dion, I mean, same thing. Like when you really look at our scores and see who scored what, as much as I hate saying this because it's Aaron's team had the most realistic
average
scoring.
Per player.
He had, 20, 25, 27 per player.
Most of his players were in the 20s.
Right.
Even the
so
bench
he
players.
had a good week 1, but he's riddled with injuries. I mean, he's got like 4 players out.
Well, I lost my starting tight end, so.
Between the 3 of my leagues, I got 9 players injured.
That's football.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's how I feel about fantasy this year.
Speaking of injuries, let's get to our second matchup of the week. We got Vikings versus Packers. Aaron Rodgers is questionable, though he's going around telling everybody that's going to listen that he's going to play today.
I mean, I hate going back to week 1, but that week 1, I mean, he played behind Brett Favre for so long that if you can play, you go out and play.
True.
I mean, there was no keeping him off the field unless it was that kind of injury.
But you got, from a front office and a team standpoint, you got to protect the player from themselves because.
Absolutely. And that's what I didn't want to see. I didn't want to see him come back just to get this W and then be hurt for 4 or 5 games.
Right.
Because as much as I hate saying this because I don't like the Packers, Aaron Rodgers not playing is not good for football. You need him in the lineup every week. He's borderline face of the league. I mean, richest contract, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Top 2 quarterbacks, depending on how you feel about Tom Brady.
I mean, we could talk about that for a whole episode.
Probably.
Because, I mean, obviously no one's going to match Tom Brady's accolades, but when you're talking about accuracy and stats.
Skill set?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it's really clear to everybody, without Aaron Rodgers, the Packers don't stand a chance, especially against the Vikings.
Because last year, 16-0, and they won 23-10. So Packers are 0-2 against Minnesota last year.
Right. Which one of those games being the one where Rodgers got hurt?
I believe.
Was it?
Vikings, okay.
Yeah. That's why he's making
okay.
a big deal about playing.
Okay.
He wants to play in this game, specifically because you guys are the ones that broke my collarbone last night.
Yeah.
And then you went on to run the division, you selfish bitches. So he's looking forward to playing in this game. I think the Vikings want him in this game. They want him in this game so they can prove that, yeah, it doesn't matter if you play or not, we're going to beat you guys. Hobbled leg, no hobbled leg. The Vikings are walking around with the swag of, it's our division now. They have a good enough defense to be able to say that too, though.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen the Packers defense last week. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Bears came out of the gate. They were making good plays, but the Packers defense is still Packers defense. They've never really went in on the defensive side of the ball.
No, yeah. They get 1 or 2
get by
star
with,
pass rushers, and
right.
That's it.
They get by with the high volume scoring. I mean, the man had 3 TDs in the second half last week. So Aaron Rodgers is capable as long as he's on the field. He's only valuable if you're playing.
Right.
Randall Cobb is the bear killer. I mean, I feel like he's so consistent during the year, and then when they play the Bears, he has that 150-yard game.
Right.
2 touchdowns and the game winner.
Devontae Adams kind of daggering my heart.
Mine too, bro. I mean, he did get in the box though.
He did. Well,
I needed that.
Devontae Adams Devontae Adams is my number 1.
Yeah, I have him in a different league, so sorry.
I hated watching him go into the end zone, but I desperately needed it.
Yeah, that's like this week. I need Leonard Fournette's not playing, but I'm playing Justin in our league, and then my Aurelio's league. I rely on you. You need scoring to win. It's not based on stats and receptions and yards. It's you get in the box to score points. So in our league, like Julio Jones last year, he had given me 5 points a game. In our league, it was 17-18 because PPR and the way it's set up. So it's like a good bad. It sucks that he's out. And I did pick up James Conner in that Aurelio's league, so I made up for it. So now I just need to beat Justin so he can start off 0-2.
There you Smack Talk as a show collectively, especially in our fantasy football league, we want to have a good record overall. Well, I do.
Especially this year because we added a trophy that you don't want.
Yeah. I'm not going to get caught with my dick out, plain and simple. So, I was actually thinking about this before you got here, and I might as well bring it up while we're on the air. So we do a player of the week, which has been lacking for the last month.
Oh.
All of our fault. I got mine this week.
Of course you do.
Whatever. I was also thinking of
Javi Baez.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm saying it's mine. I'm saying it now.
I was thinking about the Call With Your Dick Out award for the week.
I think I know where you're going with that one.
Yeah. So little foo-foo, goofy plays of the week that, whatever the case may be. So we'll talk about that. I've got a nominee for this week, boy. But we'll get to that later. So Packers-Vikings. Are we assuming that Aaron Rodgers is going to play?
Yeah. We haven't got any news that he's not playing yet.
Right. Everything looks like he's going to play.
The injury reports in the NFL have always been a little not specific. They kind of be as vague as possible. So, I mean, with John Fox coaching the Bears when he coached them, it really made me realize that the coaches really don't say what the injury is or what's going on. Shit. I mean, it's very vague. And Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure he's going to play. I mean, he walked out on the field on his own. He did walk to the sidelines on his own after he got hurt, so that was at least a good sign. I'm sure the pain pills helped at halftime because that interview after the game, dude, he was zoned.
They broke into Brett Favre's enshrined locker. He was like, I'm sure he's got some pain pills left in here.
And so I think the Packers are going to pull it out. Aaron Rodgers obviously needs to play. It's good. I feel like this is a game that I would like to watch this week for sure.
I'm actually going to go Oppo. I'm going to pick the Vikings in this game.
Yeah.
The Vikings have just as much to prove as the Packers do because a lot of people are saying that the only reason you won the division is because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. So they're taking that to heart. And it doesn't please them that Aaron Rodgers is coming into this game hurt. But at the same time, I mean, you got to take advantage of these opportunities. So
definitely.
You win this game. You have a grip on this division. Granted, it's only week 2. But you do put the Packers on notice.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It's good. You're right. It's going to be a good game.
For the Packers to get back to Green Bay Packer football, they got to come out and win this one for sure. Start 2-0 in the division, kind of get back rolling, and just hope everything pans out the way it's supposed to pan out, and they're there at the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Matchup number 3. These are actually some pretty good matchups when you look at them. You got a rematch of the AFC Championship game, Patriots versus Jaguars. That vaunted Jaguar defense versus Tom Brady. Let's just face it, it's Tom Brady. The Jags defense in week 1 looked good. Like you said, Fournette is out, and that's a huge blow for the Jags.
Yeah, because their offense comes into the game as the 25th ranked offense.
And that's with Fournette.
And that's with Fournette. So week 1 wasn't too hot for them. They did get the W. Kind of a gritty game against the Giants, very low scoring. But their defense, I mean, Jalen Ramsey, I love the kid. I just think he needs to tone it down a tad.
You heard what he said about Gronk?
I did. He's good. I mean, he's good. Bro, you're talking about one of the greatest tight ends to ever play this
Probably
game.
the
If not
best.
the greatest, because nobody utilizes tight ends like Tom Brady.
No.
Drew Brees used to when he had Jimmy Graham, but
even
now it's there. Jimmy Graham was a receiver. I mean, let's be honest.
Right.
You know what I mean? He didn't block. You probably don't even know how to block.
Yeah.
So
Gronk is too big to ever call a receiver.
yeah. So
Jalen Ramsey is going to be matched up against Gronk, and as long as Gronk doesn't get hurt, that's going to be a really interesting matchup.
that is going to be a good one because it's going to. I mean, Jacksonville last year in the playoffs, it was kind of possible bad call situation. I mean, I don't remember vaguely, but
Speak your mind, Joe.
I don't remember the play exactly, but I think that the Patriots are in for one this week and possibly again in the AFC Championship game. I know it's a little early to call the Jaguars going there, but their defense is...
It's that good.
It's that defense.
Yeah.
They're coming in as the 10th ranked, and the Patriots are coming in as the 11th ranked defense. Granted, these are only after week 1 stats and rankings, so it's going to change. Probably week 8, 9 is when we're going to find out what teams are really made of. And, you know. But Blake Bortles, what weapons does he have? Lost Robinson. Lost Hearns.
Lee.
You know, lost Lee for the season.
Yeah.
He's got the tight end Jenkins, I believe.
I mean,
so
it's
who do you throw the ball to?
With Blake Bortles, I mean, he's had weapons and still not produced. So
yeah.
I mean, the biggest blow for him is Fournette not being there because that's his security blanket. So seeing what they can do, was it T.J. Yeldon? Is that the backup? I believe.
Yes. Which he's no slouch.
No,
but
he's
no
not.
Fournette,
He's not Fournette. No.
So it's
going to be interesting because I think the Patriots are gonna force him to throw.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and now in this situation, if you're the Patriots, you stack the box, and Leonard Fournette, you can stack the box. He's still going to be productive.
Big time.
I can't say the same about T.J. Yeldon.
No.
So you're going to force Blake Bortles to throw. That's scary.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. I've seen Blake Bortles play some great games. Those were years ago.
I mean, he was 18 for 33 last week, 176 yards and 1 touchdown.
That is a game manager.
Yeah, big time. They do have Keelan Cole, so I guess they do have a weapon. 3 catches, 54 yards.
That's
but
right.
Tom Brady, 26 for 39, 277, 3 TDs. I mean, Gronk got a touchdown. Philip Dorsett got a touchdown. James White got a touchdown. So, I mean, he knows how to get the ball around.
Distribute it. I saw a stat, like, I was watching that game. I saw a stat, like, early in the first half, 11 different receivers.
Yeah, no.
Reception.
I mean, from what I have watched and what I've processed, nobody moves the ball like Tom Brady. I mean, he gets the ball around to everybody.
Yeah, he does not like stick to
Because
a receiver unless they're Gronk.
I mean,
but even still.
yeah, but Gronk 7 catches, 123. Philip Dorsett 7 catches, 66 yards. So Gronk makes he's able to produce more, I think, yards after catch because he's so big, can't tackle him. I mean, the man is like, he's smooth on his feet for how big he is.
Hulk smash.
For real. So Tom Brady is just gonna do Tom Brady things. It's gonna be a test for him, and I'm glad it's an early test, so they can either figure out what they need to work on, and Jacksonville can say, okay, well, we just played arguably the top 3-4 QB in the league. Now we got to know what we got to improve on.
Right.
But they need Fournette. I mean, that's evident.
Yeah, I think that they're going to come away from this game saying that regardless,
Yep.
which is why I'm going to pick the Patriots to win.
Yeah, I'm going to go on Patriots.
Leonard
for
Fournette
sure.
is the best player on the Jaguars, and he can't not play in this game, and you expect to win.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
sorry, Jags. Fourth matchup of the week, we've got Sunday Night Football, Giants Cowboys. I'm probably one of the few people that does not care about Giants Cowboys ever.
Nope. I'm excited to see Saquon and Zeke kind of not go at it, obviously, because they're both running backs, but kind of see who's going to be the top dog.
2 quote-unquote phenom running backs. The last 2 running backs taken in the first round.
Yep. Giants defense, you got Landon Collins say, we're just going to shut down the run game and make Dak throw it. Dak continues to say, challenge accepted. Have
he
fun.
keeps saying
Have
challenge
fun,
accepted.
Dak. There was this video of Dak and Jason Garrett playing catch during practice. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
No.
But basically what it is they're playing a game with each other. They're playing catch. If it's in the chest, they get a point. If it's extended, they get nothing. Mm-hmm. So him and Jason Garrett are just going at it, and Jason Garrett is just destroying him every game. Dak is he can't win. That's not good. That means your quarterback is not accurate, and your head coach is more accurate than QB.
Do you think they can sign Jason Garrett to a player-coach contract? Is that possible?
No. But it's not comforting because if Zeke's not doing his thing and spreading out the defense and kind of opening the pass up, Dak's not going to thread the needle.
Let me tell you whose Dak's subpar performance helps the most. Des Bryant.
Yeah, because it makes him look right.
It makes Des Bryant look like this is why I've been.
I also seen a
productive.
video. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry,
sure.
bro. I also seen this video of Dak and Des. All of Dak's throws to Des. Okay.
Sure.
It's not Des. It's not.
It's not Des.
It's not Des. It's Dak.
I believe
Because,
you can't go from being a Pro Bowl receiver to being absolute
You're right,
garbage.
you can't. But when you have a quarterback like Tony Romo, who is very injury prone, don't get me wrong,
but accurate,
and gets the ball where it needs to be, yeah, your numbers are going to go down. So everybody that says, oh, Dez is trash, Dez is garbage, da-da-da-da-da, well, he's only as good as his quarterback's going to make him.
That's all receivers.
That's all receivers.
Unless you're DeAndre Hopkins.
13 touchdowns with the backup quarterback. Both teams 0-1, so kind of a big game.
It's a big game. I mean, it's tough to call a week 2 matchup a must-win, but you don't want to be an 0-2 hole.
Not in that division.
No. I mean, you're going to let Philly just run away with it at this point, and both these teams have their own unique hatred for the Philadelphia Eagles, so neither one of them want to let them get a huge lead.
The Giants obviously are throwing the ball to Odell more than anybody.
You should.
Natural.
I mean, as much money as you paid him, yes. You force feed him the ball.
The Cowboys, they got Cole Beasley, Allen Hurns, 1 catch, 20 yards. So I mean,
we were talking about this in the preseason. The Cowboys' offense is going to struggle because they don't have any security blankets to help Dak when Zeke's not working.
Jason Witten's gone, right?
Jason Witten's gone. You got rid of Dez, which that wasn't working for Dak anyway.
No, Kobe. I feel like that was the best decision Dez could have, or not. It's obviously not Dez's decision. It was the Cowboys' decision, but it helps Dez out. Obviously, he's unemployed right now, so it's not great.
That is his fault.
Yeah, because who did he have
He turned down the Ravens, Packers, and now the Browns. Which, if they release Josh Gordon,
need a receiver.
They all need a receiver.
The Packers can probably get away because Aaron Rodgers does make some of these guys. I mean, who's Geronimo Allison?
If I'm a receiver,
you know what I mean?
If I'm a receiver, I'm not turning down playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Going to the Pack.
Yeah.
I'm go Pack go as soon as they offer me the contract, okay? You know what I mean? That's no question. That's like turning a contract down for the Patriots.
Right.
I'm going to be in it at the end of the season, so why would I not sign this contract?
And, I mean, more so from a receiver standpoint, my numbers are going to look good.
But see, and that goes to what we've always talked about, is it money or winning? What do these players care more about?
Well, Dez is a unique, and I know we're getting off topic here, but we're going to get back here in a second. Dez is looking for a 1-year deal so that he can prove himself. That is the best situation to do that. Aaron Rodgers is going to make you look like an all-pro wide receiver. And then you can go
but
and
he's also going to have to fight for the ball over there, though. Because Randall Cobb's no slouch. Devontae Adams is no slouch. It's just a matter of who's open, and Aaron's throwing you the ball. I don't feel like Aaron was throwing it to Devontae Adams as much as I would liked.
Same.
But Randall Cobb, like we talked, when he plays against the Bears, that's his game, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Geronimo Allison, who's that? You know what I mean? He had a decent game against the Bears.
Right.
So it's that Dez needs to figure it out somehow and get playing, because you sit out for a whole year, it's not looking good for you next year.
Get a new TO.
It's not.
So, I mean, the Cowboys' offensive line has not looked good. Getting back to this game.
It's declined since what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank?
Don't know.
The running back, bro. For the Cowboys.
DeMarco Murray?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that O-line was top tier.
Well, Zeke's first year, that line was still making holes for him that were ridiculous. So, I mean, they've got some injuries this year, but they're getting older.
That's a position that is very underrated. Obviously, if you're an average football fan, you're like, whatever.
The trenches matter.
But the trenches are big. You
Offensive
win the trenches,
and defensive.
you win the game almost. So the offensive line is something that needs to be replenished accordingly. I think right now it needs to be replenished or revamped or
just retooled.
Something, because you got a workhorse in Zeke Elliott, and you need to utilize him. I don't think 15 carries is enough for Zeke.
That gets back into Jason Garrett's issues when he had DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
You had this running back that was averaging like 5.5 yards of carry, but he was getting less than 20 attempts a game. Mm-hmm. No, that's not how that should work. He needs to get 25, closer to 30 touches a game. And Zeke, I mean, you spent a top 5 pick on Ezekiel Elliott. Use him.
Use him.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Running backs don't have a long life in the NFL anyway. I mean, the way these teams play them, run them into the ground. Like, that's your only chance of winning. That's your only chance of winning.
Linebackers hit, safeties and DBs defend the pass. I mean, that's his job.
Yeah. So this game's kind of tough because neither one of these teams look particularly good in week 1.
No, I think it's going to be a sloppy game.
Yeah. I guess it kind of goes to who looked better in week 1, or who do you have more faith in? And for me, it's the Giants. The Giants did have productive numbers
against a good defense. I mean, Odell had 100 yards on Jalen Ramsey.
And Saquon Barkley had 100 rushing yards against that defense.
Right.
I'd imagine against the Cowboys defense, they're probably going to look better as a whole.
I'm going Giants this week.
I'm going Giants too.
I'm definitely going Giants.
Plus, personally, I kind of like watching the Cowboys struggle.
So do I.
Yeah.
I mean, I like you said to start off this match, don't care.
No.
It's a very irrelevant game for me right now. It's be a different story if it was week 14 and it was for the division.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
we got a different story. Let's tune in. But granted, Sunday Night Football, you're gonna have to watch a little bit of it.
There's nothing else on at that time, so you're gonna watch the game.
Right.
And the last matchup, because we love you, Chicago. Seahawks versus Bears. Probably under normal circumstances, this would not get highlighted, but we're a Chicago-based sports podcast, so we got to talk about my beloved Bears. Joe's not a Bears fan. Nope. Seahawks, Bears, both coming off of tough Week 1 losses. Russell Wilson is probably the second best quarterback in the league when it comes to throwing the ball on the run, behind Aaron Rodgers. We saw how the Bears did against that guy, so. The Seahawks have traditionally had a horrendous offensive line. Russell Wilson is probably better playing on the run than anything.
Yeah.
And you've got a defensive front in the Bears they're going to get after him. They're going to chase him. The question is, are they going to get to him in time? Doug Baldwin is out for this game? Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's a huge deal.
Huge deal because you already are limited at receiving.
Right. You have the return of Brandon Marshall. Who got in the box last week?
He did. Tyler Lockett and Will Dissly. I'm going. So the way it's looking right now is the Legion of Boom is obviously gone and depleted. So Seahawks defense is not going to keep them in games like it used to.
No.
And that's what made Russ and that low-powered offense look so good, because 13, 15 points will win you a game with that kind of defense.
Right.
Now, you better be able to put 3 in the box every week.
Well, Russell Wilson led the league in touchdowns last year. So he's already proven, basically through his plays, basically said, put it on me, I can take it. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of count on Russell Wilson keeping them in games himself, but that defense isn't going to do him any favors anymore.
I mean, offense... you got the Seahawks at 24, the Bears at 27. Defense, you got the Seahawks at 28. Bears at 23 right now. That's going to change because the defense is good. It's just week 1.
Yeah.
Passing, the Seahawks got them beat. Seahawks are 15th, Bears are 26th.
Yeah.
But when it comes to rushing, the Seahawks are 30th, the Bears are 9th. So it's
running the ball
kind
is
of
going
that
to be
flip-flop. You know, what I'm good at, you're bad at, and what you're bad at, I'm good at. So it's going to be
who's going to capitalize on the other teams' weakness. The Bears are going to, if they're going to have any chance of being any level of successful this year, it's going to be because they're running the ball a lot.
Jordan Howard, I mean, they surprised me with his touches last week.
He was catching the ball out of the backfield, which was good to see. He looked good doing it too. Realistically, if they would have stuck to running the ball last week, they probably would have won that game, because it seemed like just about every rushing attempt, he was getting 5, 6, 7 yards. At least it seemed like.
Yeah, Jordan Howard 5.5 an attempt.
Yeah. So I think if their game plan going into this week against a not so tough front seven from the Seahawks is just run it down their throat and timely passing. They could probably I don't want to say easily, but they could get this W.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely a winnable game for the Bears, and if you ask me, they need to win it. need in a sense of to try to get winning experience for these young kids and understand what it means to
New coaching staff.
Dig down deep and get the W.
Yeah, you got a new coaching staff. Trubisky isn't a rookie, but this is his first year under this new offense and everything. So you got to get a W under your system to kind of get that feeling of winning. Like you
to shake that off. You got to say, okay, we got the W now.
That's a bad taste in your mouth from week one. So this, on prime time Monday Night Football, this is going to help. 2
primetime games in a row.
Yeah. Why, I don't know, but I'm not complaining. The Bears do not deserve to be in 2 primetime games the first 2 weeks of the season.
I understood why week 1 for sure.
It was like 100 years of the Packers or something.
Yeah, and I mean, whenever it's Bears Packers, that's kind of
you get games like that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When the Bears suck, then it's kind of okay. The Packers are going to win this game. Mm-hmm. But
I mean, that was the narrative going in this week.
Not for me, or not last week. I bet Justin that the Packers weren't going to beat the Bears by 10, and sure enough, I won.
Has he paid up on this bet?
He did, and I lost the $20. It fell out of my pocket. Oh. Wesley bet Justin $50 that the Bears were going to win, and we haven't heard from Wes.
MIA. You know what?
MIA.
The group chat got surprisingly quiet after all that.
Wesley was, bro, it's only halftime, and he was dropping some words that I can't even say.
Our fantasy football group chat is ridiculous.
If you are away from your phone during primetime texting hours, you'll come back to like 65 messages.
No, 218. I took a screenshot because it was ridiculous. I'm not even joking. Bro,
or 218.
Yeah, I was meeting up with a friend, and I had my phone. I had my phone.
Did you turn it off on your watch? Did you silent the?
Yeah, I had it silenced on my watch. And then, I picked my phone up and said, what the fuck? I'm like, what could you possibly be talking about?
Did you scroll all the way back up?
Hell no.
Oh, see? No, so you're missing it. We'll just take you out then, bro. It's all right.
No. Look, if I'm not busy when it's happening, I'll read it.
It's very entertaining.
Look, you really think I'm going to read 218 text messages at once?
I did. I have to because I got to figure out what everybody's talking about, who's getting made fun of. I got to. All
right. So that's the matchups that we're talking this week. So let's get into football news. Let's start off with Josh Gordon. It was reported yesterday that the Browns are expected to release Josh Gordon on Monday. D-Mob has him on his fantasy team, and he just shows me this. He's like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't know. Like, maybe he failed another drug test. I don't know what to tell you. It comes out late last night that he apparently showed up to practice with an injured hamstring that he got from doing a non-team sponsored promo.
Yep.
The Browns have basically given Josh Gordon every chance under the sun for the last 3 years.
6.
Sure.
I mean, he signed that contract in 2012, the 4-year contract.
Shit.
I got the timeline right here.
Okay.
So it's, he gets suspended for a couple games. Mm-hmm. Cleveland Browns let him come back. Then he gets suspended for the 14-15 season. Activated Josh Gordon from the exempt commissioner permission list. Suspended him for 1 game for unspecified violation of team rules. Mm. And then he gets suspended again for a whole nother year. 2 whole years you missed out of this contract. And then he comes back. They re-sign him to a 1-year, $790,000 contract. Mm. And it's just, when is enough?
I can't really. I mean? I can't really fault the Browns.
You can. I mean,
you get to a point where you're just fed up. They gave this dude every chance possible. Though this is probably one of the lighter issues that he's given the team. But
it's just that was the last straw.
Yeah, it's okay. The last straw.
We're depending on you to be a factor in this offense, and you go out and get hurt, and you're not even at practice.
Right.
Like, if you got hurt at practice, obviously that's a whole different story.
Like Carlos Boozer carrying his bags and getting hurt.
Carlos Boozer.
I love the Booze Cruise, though.
How? Hold on.
Wait.
No.
Not for on the court. I loved his antics.
Okay. I was going to say,
Look,
what?
Watching the Bulls basketball with Carlos Boozer on the court was always entertainment because you never knew what you were going to get.
Yeah,
was he going to punch a ref in the nuts?
Yeah.
Was he going to tell Joe to get that rebound?
Was he going to possibly score 15 points? Who knows? The day they signed Carlos Boozer, I slapped myself in the face and I said, "Oh my God, we just wasted like $85 million."
It was a desperation pick. It was like, oh, we need somebody. You.
For real, bro. For real. That's a whole nother topic, dude. But yeah, so Josh Gordon, I mean, 1 year, 2013 was his best season, I mean, by far.
It was a great season.
Started 14 games, played 14 games. He was targeted 160 times, and he had 87 catches for 1,646 yards. 9 touchdowns. I mean, that's 117 yards a game.
And he missed 2 games.
Right. And then just after that, just couldn't do it.
I wish Josh Gordon. I mean, so where does he go from here, and where did the Browns go from here?
I mean, now that teams, I guess, were reported contacting the Browns about trades, so they might not release him.
Yeah, I did hear
now
that.
Now they might try to get something back for him, and which
6th,
is
7th round pick. You're not getting a lot.
You're right. You probably won't. But the 4, 5, 6, 7 round picks in the NFL are fairly valuable. I mean, you can hit the money there
if you're a good front office that knows how to draft.
You're right. You're right.
But no, I mean, draft picks they're valuable until somebody uses them.
This opens up a job for Dez, possibly.
Definitely. Yeah, that was another thought that I had. It definitely opens up a spot for Dez for sure, because the Browns are still interested in Dez, and Dez is still kind of interested in the Browns.
At first, when it said that they were releasing him, it could have been me and Aaron were kind of talking about it, saying, well, maybe it was because he's not being targeted that much,
He got the box last week.
He did, but I think he only had 3 or 4 targets.
They didn't start him in the game.
True.
So they limited the plays that he was in.
Yeah.
He might only got a target.
But you also got Jarvis Landry over there. If you don't keep him fed, he's going to let you know about it.
We already talked about what Jarvis Landry is probably going to end up doing to this team before the season's over.
So the whole Josh Gordon situation, I don't blame Cleveland at all.
No.
You giving this guy more than enough chances, and now you don't know what he's.
I do wish Josh Gordon the best. I hope he gets his head straight and figures it all out, because he's too talented of a player to just kind of see it all.
He's doing nothing but getting older.
Yeah. Like, time is ticking against him. You've missed the prime of your life because of drug abuse and bad decisions.
And it's go ahead.
I hope that he gets it together and he's able to get on the right path. I'm rooting for him.
Like, the part that bugs me the most is, one, it's obviously for marijuana, but 2, when they're going to drug test you.
Yeah, you get 2 drug tests.
It's the NFL. It's the same as the NBA.
One's random during the season.
And that's an if. You know what I mean?
You might not get that one,
right?
But the other one is when you report to training camp.
You know exactly when you are getting drug tested. I mean, you're over here making a good chunk of change. Don't get me wrong. I think it doesn't say what his first contract was, but it was a 4-year deal, which I'm sure it put him in position to, okay, I got some money now.
Well, he got a signing bonus.
Yeah.
Most of that contract he didn't get because he was suspended.
Yeah.
So,
whatever.
But still,
you're right.
I'm sure the signing bonus was something reasonable to the point where he's probably set for the rest of his life, in all honesty, unless he blew it all on.
It's a lot. A lot of weed.
Or cocaine and strippers. You never know.
I don't think so.
Things happen. I don't know.
That's the Las Vegas Knights, according to Dion.
No one really knew where he went. He was He was partying with Johnny Manziel.
That is true.
So that's true. A high possibility that could have been what was happening. But like I said, I wish nothing but the best for Josh Gordon. I hope
and
he
it's
gets
not
his
like
head straight.
he caught tough breaks. He did it to himself. You know
yeah.
So
all self-inflicted injuries.
What are
Definitely.
You gonna do?
Like I understand that completely. All self-inflicted, but it is.
I feel like if it goes a couple weeks without him getting picked up or traded or something, then he's kind of going to be in that Dez situation where he's just sitting there waiting for the right opportunity or opportunity.
He needs to go to a team that's got a strong front office. and just basically is going to sit him down and say, look, we're not going to deal with it.
He could replace Dez over in Dallas. They don't have the best front office.
That's
but
not a strong front office. That's a shit show.
Yeah.
I hate saying this, but if Belichick's willing to put up with it, the Patriots could straighten him out. They straightened out Randy Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss.
Different issues.
Yeah,
but
Randy Moss was close to being done, though. You know what I mean? Josh Gordon is still kind of in the middle of his prime, kind of.
I don't know
age-wise,
Josh
age-wise,
yeah.
and like obviously not talent and career-wise because he's had one prime season.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll keep an eye on the Josh Gordon situation. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Next thing we want to talk about is Le'Veon Bell. He is. It's not even a holdout because they can't offer him a contract. It's basically
he needs to sign that franchise tag, and that's what's going to put him on the field.
Right.
So the ball's in his court in a sense of
the Steelers can do nothing. There's nothing that the Steelers can do at all. It's literally, when does Le'Veon want to show up?
Yeah.
And after week 1, Connor had, what was it, almost 150 rushing yards?
Yeah, 192 total with 2 touchdowns.
I'm sorry, Le'Veon, but the Steelers aren't missing you anymore.
They got 406 touches to replace. He touched the ball 400 times last year.
Now, a story that I read a couple weeks ago, and the reasoning why Le'Veon Bell is not reporting to the Steelers is because him and his agent believe that the Steelers have known all along that they weren't going to give him a long-term contract. So they've been running him into the ground, getting the absolute most that they can get out of him because they're just going to discard him as soon as his contract's up, which with the amount of touches that he gets, I can believe that. And that would be a reason why, you kind of sit out and say, I'm not going to let you run me into the ground again. I'm just not.
Yeah. And then, I mean, from Malcolm being a Steelers fan, he's been telling us, like, one, bro, you haven't played a full season with us since 2014.
Availability matters.
It matters. I mean, the suspensions and everything, it adds up. But Malcolm's to the point where, fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
We
got these rings. You don't got one.
And then you get a guy like Connor come in and play the way he plays. It's like,
right.
All right, dude, bye.
Right. But I mean, Le'Veon, I feel like the Steelers cannot do anything with him. They can't trade him until he signs his franchise tag. So
they can't sign him to a new deal to make him happy.
Can't do anything until he signs his franchise tag. I read an article last night about could Le'Veon end up in Green Bay? And yes, it's a possibility. Green Bay has 2 first-round picks that they can get rid of, but it's a matter of if they could do it, want to do it. He signs the franchise tag and goes there. There's so many what ifs that it's clearly a hypothetical situation.
Yeah,
but
Le'Veon,
what I read is it is possible.
Yeah, but Le'Veon, as far as the trade is concerned, Le'Veon does have the ball in his court because he doesn't have to sign that franchise.
No, absolutely, you're right.
And he's not going to accept a trade unless he knows that he's going to get a long-term contract. Which I'm be honest with you, I don't see the Packers paying him.
With them just paying Aaron Rodgers, they can. It works out. They might hit a little bit of a salary cap tax, but it's not going to be much. It's not going to be by a lot, so they could avoid it, depending on what Le'Veon actually wants.
And front offices get really, really creative as far as front-loading
moving
contracts,
money,
back-loading contracts, whatever it takes. Yeah,
that would imagine Green Bay having a solid running game for once. I know you don't want to imagine that at all.
Furious.
That would absolutely just say, oh, well, we're not winning the division for a long time.
Yeah. The Le'Veon situation is so interesting because I can see both sides of it pretty well.
Yeah, I understand Le'Veon's end where it's, bro, sign me to a contract and let's do this damn thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's turning down $14 million this year.
But that's 2 franchise tags in a row.
Right.
That's saying, yeah, we don't want you.
We want you, but we don't want you.
We're going to run you into the ground, but we don't want to keep you for long term. Yeah. And that's like, and then another thing, why I'd be pissed if I was Le'Veon, you got all these NFL players on your team talking about your contract. Don't talk about my contract.
Don't talk about
that's my contract.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry about that.
And they can say they feel betrayed.
But then I understand the offensive line, bro. We block for you.
Mm-hmm.
You come out on this field and play with us. You know what I mean?
And there's been rumblings of Le'Veon Bell is a product of the offense, not that he's necessarily this great running back. And then you have Connor. Have this week one,
right?
And it's like, oh shit, maybe.
They're right.
Yeah,
right. Because and like you said, I see it from both sides. I see the player's view where, bro, come on.
Like, worst case scenario happened.
Like, we don't have Big Ben for a while. We had to basically convince Big Ben to come back for another year so we can have another shot at this
championship run.
That's what we're running for, and you're gonna sit here and hold out.
It's sketchy.
And then it's like, well, you look at it from Le'Veon's point of view. They're probably gonna give him another 400 touch season.
Mm-hmm. They're going to ruin the rest of my career.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, at the end of the year, they can't franchise him. They're going to say goodbye. Thanks for everything you did.
So it's a slippery slope for.
If I'm Le'Veon Bell, the only thing that makes doing all that worthwhile is a championship, which you're not guaranteed. So I understand his mindset of, am I really going to probably take another 2 years off of the end of my career for a maybe at a Super Bowl?
Because, I mean, honestly, like me and you talked about at work, yeah, he's going to sit out for a year. It probably won't hurt him conditioning-wise because I feel like he's smart enough to stay in shape.
Definitely.
You would hope. You got your teammates with Antonio Brown, who is an absolute workhorse off the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable what kind of workouts this guy does and how much he's working out and just really taking that Brandon Marshall effect of taking care of your body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There was a number where I heard Brandon Marshall was spending over $300,000-$400,000 a year just on his body.
Yeah.
In between massages and hyperbolic chambers and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Brandon Marshall's kind of leading the pack with that. And it was really good.
And that's the changing of the tide. Players now are that's a standard for them because you got players that can come back from an ACL injury and almost be better than what they were. You know, it's very far in between, but it can happen. They can return to full playing. But Le'Veon's situation, it's so touchy because I see all three sides. I see the Steelers side, I see Le'Veon's side, and then I see his teammate side.
Right.
So it's hard to make that who's right, who's wrong, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. I feel like his teammates were out of line talking about his contract like that.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because
the guy's trying to set up his family for the rest of his life. You kind of can't really. It's tough to shit on him in that situation.
Right, because all they want to know is when are you coming back then? Just tell us when you're coming back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just what's the deal? So.
Any other notes for football you want to get into?
No. Hopefully the Saints win this week.
Who they play this week?
The Browns.
Oh yeah, the Josh Gordon-less Browns. That looks good for you. That does. Let's get into this baseball talk. We haven't talked baseball in a while, mainly because it was the dog days of the season, and me and Joe weren't happy with the direction that the Cubs were taking.
I'm still not.
And AK was furious with the Yankees.
It still is. We were talking about that. He said, "Bro, Aaron Judge 3 weeks. It's been 6." I said, I feel you, bro.
He just came back,
KB,
though.
same thing, though. He went on the 10-day, and then they kind of said, okay, we don't know when exactly you're coming back.
It was like, yeah, he's going to be
turned
gone
into 6
longer.
weeks.
Yeah. Both are back now.
Yep. No, Aaron Judge is
activated.
He's activated.
Yeah.
He's taking live batting practice, but he's not back into the swing of things quite yet.
Right.
What do we got for postseason here?
The American League playoff setting is kind of cut and dry.
Playoffs start today.
If the playoffs were starting today, Boston would have home field throughout. Not a shock to anybody. Nope. The Indians would win their god-awful division with 83 wins.
And what's wild is the Indians were the first team this year to clinch their division.
Yeah.
Because Boston clinched a playoff spot first, but the way their schedule is, the Yankees can still at least tie, I believe.
Yeah.
So the Cleveland Indians are the first team to win a division this year.
And they have the worst record of all the playoff teams in the AL, even the wild card teams. But the thing about the Indians is they're not a bad team. They just coasted. They're coasting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was probably let's see, maybe end of July, early August.
Like 2 months ago.
Terry
yeah.
Francona said, I mean, we're gonna coast. I'm gonna rest the guys that need to be rested, and we're gonna get them ready for the playoffs because our division is ash trash garbage, and we could probably fall asleep during some of these games and still win the division.
Mm-hmm. And he would not be wrong.
Nope.
So they've got a 16-game lead on their division, and they've only got 86 wins. The second best team is the Minnesota Twins with 67 wins. Somebody get us together, please. Then you've got the AL West, which is a lot closer than I think anybody thought it was going to be. We thought the Houston Astros were just going to run away with the league, but you got the Oakland A's have are 3.5 games back. Houston technically could still lose the division. But they're set for making the playoffs because if you look at the wild card spot in the AL, the Yankees have the number one wild card spot right now, which
by a game and a half.
By a game and a half. The second being the Oakland A's. The third team is 7.5 games back of Oakland. So as far as the AL is concerned, we know exactly who's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Seattle would have to. There's no way.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
The NL, however, is very different in the sense of there's no comfortable lead really,
St.
except
Louis
for
is that odd man out right now.
in a couple of different ways. The Braves are the only team in the NL that have a comfortable division lead. They got a 6.5 game lead against the Phillies. The Cubs have a 2.5 game lead against the Brewers, who they just finished up a series with the other day. Did not go the way that I wanted it to go, but the Brewers have taken a couple steps back since that series. The Dodgers last night took over the division. They've been chasing the Rockies, chasing them.
Please do not make the playoffs, LA. Please.
Please
lose the wild card game, please.
They have a half game lead on the Rockies now. The Dodgers have a huge fourth game in the series against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are in a you got the same notification. The Cardinals are in a tough spot because it went from they're kind of in the division chase in the NL Central to they're trying to hold on to that last wild card spot. And that series against the Dodgers is really hurting them because the Dodgers were looking to take that wild card spot to instead they took the division, and now the Rockies have the wild card spot that the Cardinals had a couple days ago.
Right.
Go ahead.
St. Louis, the Cubs in St. Louis finish out the season. 3 games in Wrigley.
Going to that whole series.
And I feel like the Cubs need to go ahead and sweep that and make sure St. Louis stays out of the playoffs.
I'm a big supporter of keeping your division rivals out of the playoffs.
I hate St. Louis. You know that. You know I hate St. Louis.
I'm not a fan.
We go down there for work once a month. So there's a couple people in the vicinity of the city of St. Louis that I like, but for the most part, I don't like St. Louis. The Blues, can't stand them. They don't have a football team anymore. And then they got the Cardinals.
I have some really close friends that are Cardinals fans, so I can't shit on them anymore. But I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I'm sorry, Josh. Right. I don't.
Right. And I don't even know you, Josh, and I don't want to see him in the playoffs. But I respect the fact that that's your team. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and
definitely
be a complete asshole. But
it's funny. Dion was antagonizing the shit out of him about the Cardinals.
I'm sure he was.
They lost 17-4 yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. And the Dodgers decided to score 4 runs in the ninth.
That's tough.
It's just mean.
That's tough. The Cubs' remaining schedule, though, is somewhat favorable.
Yeah, you got series against you're finishing your series against the Reds today. You have 2 series against the Pirates, series against the White Sox, and
the White Sox
going to that game too. One of those games too.
Yeah, we got we finished the Reds, Diamondbacks, White Sox, Pirates 4 games, and then Cardinals 3 to finish the season.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks is going to be a tough series because the Diamondbacks are playing for their playoff lives too. They're going to scratch and claw and do whatever they can, and they're not a bad team.
I understand the games against the White Sox don't matter in a sense of
they're not a rival technically,
but we need to go ahead and sweep them.
Yes,
they are a totally sweepable team. They lost their best pitcher, Michael Kopech, to Tommy John, And he
See you in
just got
2020.
called up.
See you
You know what I'm
2020.
saying? He's sitting the whole season out next year. So let's see, how do I want to word this? You unreasonable Sox fans who feel like you were going to win a championship in 2019 or 2020, is not going to happen.
2019 was always a pipe dream. 2020 is when I realistically expected the White Sox to start competing.
Right, and 2020 is going to be too late, or 2022 is going to be too late.
2022 is like if you haven't started competing by then it's time to throw it
Because
away.
now you have a pitcher in Michael Kopech who is not going to be able to come back and throw how he was.
Well, I mean, the thing about Tommy John now is like they come back stronger.
Yeah, but you know how many pitchers have made the Hall of Fame after Tommy John surgery?
No idea.
One. John Smoltz.
Smolty.
One. So, granted, it's probably in his favor that it's happening.
And it's early.
In 2018 instead of 2000 or 1998.
Yeah.
So, we know one of our first few episodes, we talked about how the medicine in sports is just skyrocketed, and you can come back easier.
Yeah, the last 10
stronger.
years, Tommy John surgery is really favorable.
He's a hard throwing pitcher, and that's where Tommy John surgery is. It affects the hard throwing pitcher. So maybe he won't come back throwing hard. Maybe he still has some stuff, but I just don't see it happening for him.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I'm not a White Sox fan, obviously, but I wanted to see him do good. I wanted to see him, Dylan Cease, and Eloy shine for the White Sox. I wanted to see them have the best careers possible.
Neither one of us are Sox fans, but to be honest,
I had high hopes for him this year.
It's fun when both teams are good in the city.
It is, but I just hate White Sox fans.
Wait. Which fan base do you hate more, the Sox or the Cardinals fans?
Oh, the White Sox, standard.
I agree.
Standard. You guys' expectations are the most unrealistic in the whole world. Stop me when I'm lying.
No.
If you're a White Sox fan and you want to have a baseball debate, by all means, let's do it. But don't sit here and say, oh, it took you guys this long to win a ring, or you're in the middle of Boys Town, or this and that. Talk baseball, talk stats, talk facts, and we can do it. I can have a reasonable conversation with a White Sox fan.
And let go.
There's probably 3 of them that I can talk baseball with.
And let go of 04.
Right, 05.
05.
But don't get me wrong. I mean, we're gonna hang on to 16 for a while, so hang on to it as long as you want. Yeah. But don't act like you're closer to 108 than we are. So remember that.
I love the Smacktalk from Joe. I love it when I get it out of him. So the NL wild card spot, the Brewers are either going to win the division or they're going to get the wild card. One of the two. Right now, it looks like the wild card because they're 2.5 games back of the Cubs. Thank God.
Yeah, they would have to really blow this wild card. They would have to blow this lead in the wild card to not make the playoffs.
Which is a fireable offense at this point to me.
Big time, because, I mean, I know I probably said this on the show before. One of our friend Wesley, he was at the Milwaukee Cubs game last year. And, this was when Milwaukee had a pretty substantial lead on us, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And, Wesley's like, oh, you guys might do it. You guys might be there. I mean, you got Brewer fans saying, oh, no, man, that's not going to happen. We're the Brewers. We'll blow it. Uh-huh. And Wesley was just like, bro, but that's real, though, that they know what their team is. So,
but I can relate because as a Cubs fan for so long before the 15 season.
We had 07 and 08. We got our ass swept out of the playoffs, which was not.
But in 07, 08, it was just like, yeah, we're good. Let's see.
It wasn't 2003 where we should have been there. You know what I mean? Right. But Milwaukee in the playoffs, in my eyes, is dangerous. They're not a slouch, but they're a
really good hitting team.
I feel like if they had a little bit better coaching, it would be a different story for that team because there's talent all over that field. Yeah. Lorenzo Cain, Kristen Yelich. Mm-hmm. What's the pitcher's name that they got from Washington? Gio Gonzalez, I believe. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they got some studs out there. It's just Craig Counsell. I mean, he's a good manager. Obviously, he's had some good records the last couple of years, but just not enough to
we want to see
overthrow the Cubs like we overthrew St. Louis.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen.
Right. So the last 2, it's really 3 weeks 3 weeks. Yeah, the last 3 weeks of the season. It's going to be interesting.
Two and a half.
Two and a half. Yeah, 2.5.
We got 2 full weeks, and then we have the last game of that third week. It is our first day off in like 30 games.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, I think
Joe Madden was talking about that.
It's bad. They play in 41 days. They play 40 games.
He said in Washington when it was, we obviously got this heat wave coming, so a lot of places in the States are feeling it. They asked Joe Madden about the weather. He goes, I'm not concerned about the weather. I'm concerned about the MLB making us show up to the ballpark for 31 straight days. Yeah. So my guys got to report to the ballpark for 31 days in a row, and they don't get a day off. Yeah. So I don't care about the weather. That's what I care about.
He's given a lot of guys spot days off. He gave Rizzo the day off yesterday.
Right. So now it affects his lineup in the playoff crunch time where he's got to, I got to sit Riz. I got to sit Benzo.
He has to do it.
You have to. I mean, Benzo, he's batting .314 right now, but don't forget the dude's
old.
You need a day off, man. He's not a Javi Baez who can go out there and play every day and give it 110% and
so
just do it.
Yeah, you're a team in the middle of this playoff chase, this
and
division.
You had to come play all them games in a row.
Yeah, it's
granted, yes, they are makeups. Some of them were makeups, so they had to squeeze them in where they could squeeze them in. But for the most part, that was MLB scheduling.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can still blame baseball for that because you know what weather in Chicago is in the beginning of the baseball season. It's shit.
Why do we start baseball that early?
Front load. I mean, and if you are going to start that early, front load the Cubs with road games.
Arizona, Texas, California. Right. You're absolutely right, bro. Absolutely. Because last year got snow. There was a snow delay. Or no, beginning of this year, right? Yeah. It was a snow delay.
Yeah.
Snow delay. Baseball. Snow.
Those two words don't belong together.
In Chicago, they do.
Well, this is an interesting city. We get weather that just don't make sense.
Yeah, it was 96 degrees on Friday. What?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I felt that one.
I felt all of it. Like, man. It's hot.
Any other notes that you want to get into? Brandon, what's our time at?
An hour and 6 minutes.
Hour and 6 minutes. Any other sports stuff you want to get into? Neither one of us watched Triple G versus Canelo, so I'm sorry we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, no, definitely didn't watch it. I mean, the vibe around social media is GGG got robbed. Canelo ended up winning.
Right.
I guess I didn't watch it, so I don't.
Yeah, I
don't know.
Busy.
I was sleeping. I had a golf outing yesterday. We won yesterday too.
Nice. Congratulations.
-5.
I was about to say, what'd you shoot?
We shot a -5. We didn't win anything though. They fed us and got us drunk.
That's always a good combo.
Yeah, but yeah, we ended up birdieing the last hole and we ended up winning. Second place was -4.
There you go.
So that was pretty solid.
All right, well, I'm not going to ramble for the sake of rambling. AK's not here to talk Fortnite, so whatever.
Yeah, you see how having AK not here decreases the time by like 40 minutes.
Just words. Just words spewing out of his mouth.
But we got to talk your Smacktalk player of the week, bro, and you got to give me time to find mine.
Yeah, my Smacktalk player of the week is going to be... my Smacktalk player of the week is going to be Yasiel Puig.
Really?
And just...
Cool, I can take the one that I thought you were thinking of.
And realistically, he's hit 5 home runs this week. And they're in 2 games. He hit 3 home runs yesterday. And he hit 2 home runs on Friday against the Cardinals. He has been single-handedly dismantling the Cardinals. I don't even care about the rest of the week. But Yasiel Puig hit 5 home runs this week, really in 2 games, helping catapult the Dodgers into a commanding spot. Giving them a lot of control as far as the division and the wild card is concerned. So Yasiel Puig is my player of the week.
Well, I thought you were going to take the North Texas Arkansas fair catch play. So I'll steal that.
Go for it.
So North Texas, Arkansas punts the ball to North Texas. Kind of, obviously he doesn't call it fair catch, but he kind of jumps up and down to make it.
Goes through all the fair catch motions.
Yeah, but he doesn't wave it off. Arkansas kind of stops the play and takes a couple more steps and boom, gone.
That dude's legs were moving.
Yeah, dude. And they ended up beating Arkansas, 44-17. North Texas.
Close, but
it
still.
wasn't close at all.
Yeah.
But they were up 7. North Texas was up 7 when they did that play, so that took them up 14.
That's a demoralizing play.
Yeah.
If you're the head coach for Arkansas,
I do not want to be at practice on Monday.
oh no, I don't want to be. Look,
I don't
want to be
there.
I don't want to be a film
Nope.
study
Nope.
because that film study, he's just, dude, something's getting
Nah,
thrown.
you don't want to be at practice, bro. They're probably going to run nothing but – that special team crew is going to run nothing but punt plays. They're going to have the worst practice they've ever had in their life. Run it again. That's all they're going to hear. Run it again. But
This better never happen again.
I swear, man, that's
So
rough.
I looked at that play and I looked at it from the other side. That was if I was to make a nominee for getting caught with your dick out, it would be
That'd
Arkansas.
be it. That'd be it for sure.
That reminds me of was it 2007 Devin Hester against the Giants, the missed field goal,
Yep.
and kind of starts nonchalantly walking towards the sideline, then just books it.
Takes off.
Like Tom Coughlin was furious.
Pissed. That's,
Yeah, like plays like that, they're always fun and interesting. It's like, how are you that lackadaisical? But
yep.
I mean, they're college kids. I'm not going to get on them like I would an NFL player that's getting paid to do it. Oh, real quick, and then we can wrap this thing up. Stephon Marbury.
What happened?
Last thing you thought was going to come out of my mouth, right? Stephon Marbury was on Instagram Live yesterday, and I don't even think I need to say we got to take this with a grain of salt, but he says that Zion is without a doubt going to be better than LeBron because LeBron can't shoot. He says Zion has the best chance to be better than Michael Jordan, not LeBron James. He doesn't even think it's close.
He's going to be better than Mike?
That Zion has a chance to be better than Michael, not LeBron James. That is not even close. That basically when Zion gets into the league, it's over for LeBron James. Put away your 23s, your all hail the king, all that nonsense. Stephon Marbury, this is why you're not in the NBA. This is why you're not in the country.
That's why you're a god in China, bro, because that makes no sense. I mean, this dude hasn't even played a college game yet. He's played exhibition college games, but you got a long season, and you play for Duke, so you're going to be magnified.
Mm-hmm.
Granted,
Every single game.
Granted, you already are coming into the NCAA magnified because of what you did in college. But,
or high school, yeah.
Or high school, I'm sorry. But you're going to...
And you already look like you have your 25-year-old body.
Right. And you're playing for, in my eyes, one of the, if not the best college coach. I mean, in our time, John Wooden obviously holds that title with all them championships.
That's really big of you to give that.
It's huge for me to say that because I hate Duke. I hate Duke. You know what I mean? I hate everything about Duke.
Deion told me he was going to try to watch as many Duke games as he can this year. I said,
For
don't
what?
tell Joe that.
Why would he? Just watch the highlights, bro.
Yeah, I'm out here dry snitching. I don't care.
It's all good. I got him. He don't have a team. He flip flops. So
Look,
he's a Steelers fan, then he's a Saints fan, then he's solid with the Cubs. I'll give him that. Basketball, I'm not too sure. I think he's a Bulls fan.
He's a Bulls fan because he's an irrational Bulls fan. I got to talk him down a lot. Got to talk him down a lot.
That's a bold statement, though, to say that about Zion.
Stephon Marbury, stay in China, please.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. One more thing, and then we are really going to get out of here.
Kind of irrelevant, though.
Sure.
North Carolina won an award for the best college uniform.
I mean, that's nice.
Yeah, kind of irrelevant.
I like a nice fire uniform.
And, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not saying this to be biased, but North Carolina is going to be decent this year.
Yeah.
They got to...
You're going to finish second in the ACC, but yeah, they'll be decent.
Is that a Smacktalk bet? Because it's on camera.
Sandwich bet.
You
Let's
tell
go.
me.
Let's do it.
How much? What's up? No money. No monetary. Something else. Lunch, dinner, sushi, something.
Sushi.
On you. Thank you. Can't wait. And now this is regular season, right? This
Regular
has nothing to
season.
do with
Nothing
the ACT tournament.
Yup.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
That's a bet.
Sushi
Brandon,
bet.
you're the witness. I want my sushi.
all the fans
Yeah.
are the witnesses.
No, definitely not.
So I texted you about this, or no, I tagged you on Instagram about this the other day because I was watching Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
What the hell were the Bengals fans doing? Chanting "Who that?"
I'm gonna,
Playing the Ravens.
Let's see if I can find anything because
I'm watching the game, and this is when AJ Green catches his first of 3 touchdowns. And then, like, during the next kickoff, I just hear the fans chanting, "Who dat?" And at first, I'm thinking, just like, wait, what? I'm paying attention to the game, so I know they're not playing the Saints. And I'm just like, okay, what am I missing?
Okay, hold on. This goes back to 2010. So right when the Saints started doing it, it looks like the Bengals tried copying them. So I'm gonna see if I can get to pull this up. Because y'all can't win a fucking playoff game, first of all, okay?
The answer to who that is just about anybody.
For real, because y'all, didn't they go 14-2 one year? Or no, maybe no, that's a little
Not
steep.
that good. Maybe
12-4.
Yeah.
And I just remember them being like the squad to beat.
I am not going to give the Bengals any kind of slack until Marvin Lewis is not their coach. I'm sorry.
He's been here since we were like 14 years old.
He tried to quit, and they begged him to stay.
That's wild, man. Talk about job security and not producing. Fuck. Where do I sign up?
Right.
At?
I want that level of job security in my life.
I'm not getting anything.
Not getting anything. All right. Well, I saw it live. I'm just like, I don't think they get it. I don't think they get it at all. You say that when you win a lot.
And don't get me wrong, the Saints haven't won a whole bunch, but we did beat Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
They've won playoff games, Joe.
Yeah, but we've also lost to the 7-9 Seahawks in the playoffs. And Marshawn Lynch, the whole dick grabbing and Tracy Porter don't know how to tackle and the rest of the defense.
I was about to say the rest of the team. Some people got trucked twice on that play.
And I mean, look at last year, bro. I mean, granted,
fluke play.
You make that play, bro. I'm not saying we're going to beat the Eagles. I'm not, by any means. I'm not saying that was going to happen. But we would have had a better chance than the fucking Vikings did.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I want to say, we would have beat the Eagles for sure. But defense, not a slouch. Carson Wentz is activated. I don't know if you've seen that. Did
not.
Yeah, bro. I'm almost positive I got it.
I think that's because the coach got tired of answering questions about that.
He can be cleared for contact this week. So, okay, maybe he's not released, but he's going to be cleared.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But see, now, what does that do for the Eagles? Obviously, Wentz is the better option, but Nick Foles gets the job done.
And Nick Foles has had all the reps in preseason, training camp,
It's the same thing like with the whole Fitzpatrick situation in Tampa Bay. If he plays the rest of his time like that, how do you just say, okay, Jameis, here's the ball?
I think that's different because Carson Wentz was having an MVP caliber season when he got hurt.
True.
Jameis Winston, I think he's kind of teetering on the point where it's like we may have to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Fitzpatrick's not the answer, but
he
can be a placeholder.
He can get you through this season.
You haven't made the playoffs with Jameis, so what is missing the playoffs without Jameis?
Right. That's a hard division to make the playoffs in, too.
True.
But now you got Devontae Freeman out for a few weeks. You don't know what Atlanta's going to be. They lost 2 defensive players.
Me and Coleman's going to have some time to shine, isn't he?
Look at you. You are so...
I wanted to text you as soon as I saw that yesterday.
I mean, you aren't lying. Maybe you aren't relying on that 90 point. Bro, so AK was telling me that one of his boys was in the league and Tyreek Hill scored 90 points.
Depending on how the points are weighted, yeah.
Like, dude, what is the purpose of that?
You can do because you can do buffers. So like,
I think it was I think he said it was Malcolm, and Malcolm was like, "Bro, I thought you said it was PPR. It's like 4 points a catch, bro. What do you?" Malcolm said, "I would have drafted way different."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go for players that get 4 catches a game. That's 16 points right there.
Yeah. No, you gotta.
You don't even gotta pick the top tier players.
This is
you can pick Geronimo Allison.
This is something I want to say to anybody that plays fantasy football. When you're joining a new league, one of the first things you want to ask is how are points scored, because it heavily affects how you should draft.
I have 3 different leagues. The 2 ESPN are very similar, except our league, we have the bonuses and we have little extras here and there. But that Aurelio's league, bro, I'm telling you, if you do not get in the box, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's like quarter point PPR. Yeah. You have 4 waiver wires for the whole year.
Yeah. It's tough.
That's promotes the trading and everything, which our league, the one that me and Zach are in, we're kind of on the teetering point of trying to figure that out because nobody trades. Nobody trades.
Everyone talks about trading.
Everyone talks about trading. I got this player. I got this player. Oh no, your trade's bullshit. But in the end, it's
A lot of the trades getting sent are bullshit in our league.
Did you see
it
that
is.
one Justin sent AK?
Bro, I would have been pissed if I was AK.
AK sent it to me right away, and I said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then AK sent him like a trade for Leonard Fournette. He traded him like he asked him for his kicker or something like that. And that's when Justin said in the group chat, "Bro, why are you disrespecting me with that trade?" That's what AK sent Justin's trade. Like, bro, you just tried trading me somebody who had a great week 1 in a rookie linebacker for Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Get a grip, dude.
Yeah. No, not.
So
not,
we're
not
trying to
for
figure
that.
out how to promote more training. But yeah, bro, 4 waiver wire pickups, and I already had to use 2.
Oh, you're hurting.
I'm hurting. One of them was James Conner, though, so I'm hoping that it works out.
As long as that pans out,
As long as it pans out,
then you're good.
because now I lost Leonard Fournette
he'll be back.
and Devontae Adams. He's gonna play, but he's hurt.
What
done.
time is it? 'Cause
I'm done with fantasy football. I already did mine. I'm done. I'm just waiting for the games to start.
I'm pretty sure I did mine, but I need to do some last minute checking. All right. We're gonna be back for another episode next week, episode 21. There's a lot of stuff that I wanted to say. I can't remember any of it right now, so I'll either add it on at the end when I'm by myself, or who knows what I'll do. But this has been another episode of Smack Talk. Leave it on the court. Thank you guys for listening.